Welcome back to R.A.N Perspective. It's your boy Kai, aka BR Boulder. This week I wanted to talk about just a couple points that I kind of pulled from social media and also from personal experience in regards to the whole Oscars, Will Smith, Chris Rock. I don't want to too much in particular talk about that situation, but just some points that I seen people raise, or just some things that I kind of identify with, from my life experiences. Like I said, So, um, it's been a lot of talk about whether Will was wrong or whether Chris Rock shouldn't have said that shit, or whether Jada shouldn't have been so sensitive, or even down to her controlling Will and shit like that. So I just wanted to kind of dive into a couple points that I made or that somebody else made that I seen. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first point that I want to get into is people saying that he was defending his wife and, defending his family and so on and so forth, which is cool. Like, I don't have no problem with a man defending his woman, which is, that's one of the things that we supposed to do as men, to protect, provide that security, like, on a physical level, and emotionally as well, mentally too. I mean, that's just something that, you're supposed to do for the person that you are involved with, that you care about. You feel me? But I think I don't think that should be to a point of detriment to one's character or career, or I'm not saying put your career before your before your man or your woman or no shit like that, but my thought process behind that is like this is a cause and effect. Like, It's that's as simple as I can put it. Action and reaction. And that's how all things in life are, for real. Like, honestly, that's how all things in life are, regardless of the context of the situation around it. So as far as, him protecting his wife, and I feel like he should have protected her. I don't agree with the way he did it, but I understand why he did it. You feel me? I just don't like the fact that men have this this protect her at any cost type of thing. I ain't even gonna say just men, but some people, some women have it too, where they'll protect their man at the at the detriment of their own character or career, and that's crazy. Like, outside of who you are in a relationship as a man, as a husband or a wife, or as a mother or father, whoever, you still have to protect. Not only do you have to protect the people around you, the ones you care about, the ones you love, but you also got to protect yourself too. And I think acting rashly, he didn't protect himself as well. Like, and nor did she protect him. And I seen a lot of people say that as well. Like, she didn't protect him. She could have stopped him from making that bad decision, which she definitely could have. But it's more so like I feel like especially in these times, like when people say, protect your spouse or protect your woman, or men don't protect women, like, in some cases it's really just people wanting niggas to crash out, or men to crash out behind the person that they with. Like, to do something extreme that's gonna have severe consequences on their character or their career, or like that it's gonna be hard for them to recover from. Because once somebody see you in that light, like once somebody see you behave in that manner and see you in that light, it don't matter what you done before that, it don't matter what you do after that, that one moment is what's gonna stick with them. They're gonna always see you for that one moment. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to change people's perception of you because perception is reality in most cases. You know what I'm saying? So like I know for sure that I have allowed myself to be um used in that manner. Like, you know what I'm saying? People become accustomed to me being like so aggressive. And it's because I felt like that was the only way I could protect certain things that I really cared for, is to be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Or just to be out of character, like who I normally am as a man and as a person, you know what I'm saying? So I mean I can completely understand that understand when people say like, oh well, damn, what about like this is his night, so on and so forth. Like he won his first Oscar, it's gonna be overshadowed. But I get it. Like I get it. You know what I'm saying? I've been in positions or situations rather where some shit I did overshadow, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been there before. Like, damn, I probably shouldn't have reacted like that. I probably should have just, you know what I'm saying? I could have handled that differently. But you know, I mean, that's hindsight is 2020. You know, like I really don't think it's cool for men to crash out or for people to crash out behind a significant other. Like the same way that you protect somebody, you had to protect yourself. Like I mean, and that's the point I was trying to get to a while ago. Like even outside of protecting your woman, you still have to self preservation is still a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So like you got to still be able to you got to be able to protect them and at the same time still handle yourself accordingly and make sure that you're protecting your image as well and protecting yourself emotionally and mentally and physically as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't crash out or you can't go down bad behind just, oh, this my wife, so I'ma do, you know, so I'm gonna handle it like that. I'm gonna handle it like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of niggas that ended up dead in jail behind doing shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's wild. You know what I'm saying? That you can go out. Like I know a nigga that got locked up over some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like assaulted a guy over something that was said to his girl. And as soon as they locked that nigga the fuck up, she was out of there. Like, you know what I'm saying? She didn't even stick by my man. And he did this shit for her. He did this shit for her. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And he wasn't protecting himself. You feel me? Like, I don't believe that protecting your significant other should come at any cost. I don't believe it should be at the detriment of your own character, at the detriment of your career. Like these are things that you spent your whole life building, preparing yourself for, making room for, being blessed with, and you're gonna throw that shit away over, you know what I'm saying, somebody that should also have your best interests at heart. Like, as much as they want you to protect them, they should be protecting you. Like they should stop you from doing rash and rash type of shit and making these emotionally charged decisions like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, by all means, protect your woman physically if you have to. You know what I'm saying? If you have to. You feel me? But it's definitely more than one way that a man can protect a woman. You know what I'm saying? Or a woman can protect a man. Like, I don't feel like it's so important that you have to demean yourself in the process or diminish yourself or diminish your character in the process of, you know what I'm saying, trying to defend somebody else's honor. I know a lot of people, you know, especially on social media, like a lot of women is saying like, oh, if my nigga ain't gonna step behind me like this, like, okay, cool. Now if he do, and I'm gonna get into this a little bit later, and the actions, the reactions, and the consequences of his actions catch up with him. Now, is you gonna do what you supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if your man get out here, somebody say something wild to you, and he fuck him up, you know what I'm saying? Is you gonna do what you supposed to do to hold that nigga down, like legally? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's a lot of motherfuckers that get like that don't think that shit through. Like don't think it. And on top of that, it's a lot of motherfuckers that just ain't got it all, bro. Like some of this shit don't even be women expecting they niggas to crash out behind them. It's just niggas will crash out about they woman, bro. Niggas will man, they crash out for less than that. Niggas go out bad for less than a woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? A couple dollars. A pair of shoes. You feel me? Like some motherfuckers just ain't rap tight. Or some motherfuckers is really ready to go out about whatever it is they feel passionately about. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you have to consider that type of shit too. So I mean, it's cool. Like it's cool. It's cool to protect, you know, what's yours. But I feel like you should do it in a way that's not gonna end up hurting y'all in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Like the biggest thing is, you know what I'm saying? Not only are we here to protect, but we're here to provide as well. And if you do some shit trying to protect your family that's gonna stop or put a halt to how you're able to provide for your family, then what is you really doing? What's really going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, because not only did they lose their protector, or, you know what I'm saying, they lost their provider as well. And it's just like, I mean, you got to think about that type of shit before you get out here and start doing wild ass shit, and niggas don't. You know what I'm saying? I seen shit going on in the city I'm from, like right now, you know what I'm saying, between people. And that's just like, damn, boy. Like, y'all out here shooting over shit like that. Some petty ass shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got kids and shit. And it's just like, damn, bro, y'all crashing out bad like that, leaving y'all kids out here. Leaving other people to be responsible for your kids that you supposed to be protecting and providing for. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna do that and you going out like this? That's just like that's the thing I don't understand about it. Like, that's the thing that I don't really understand about it, bro. Like, how could you want somebody to protect you like that if it's not called for, if it's not warranted? How could you want somebody to protect you like that? You know what I'm saying? You should want to protect them enough to keep them from doing some shit like that. And I think it's just like niggas anyway, like especially when, you know what I'm saying, when it come to niggas and they girl, bro, it's most always, if they gotta do it, you know what I'm saying, anytime they feel like a way like that, it's probably gonna come to hands, bro. Like a good 7 out of 10 times. Like, it's gonna come to hands, bro, because niggas is not playing about they old ladies out here. Like, they really not. Like, men is not playing about they old ladies, and they gonna give that shit up like that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and like a part of me kind of wonders like where that come from? Like what make us feel like we automatically gotta get into some shit just because it's some shit that happens. It's a situation that involves our woman. You know what I'm saying? Or our women, rather. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know. Like, everything ain't gotta be everything. Like, I'm all for getting on somebody's ass about my woman if the situation warrants that. Like, if I have to. But yeah, nah. Somebody say something crazy to my shorty, like I'm not gonna automatically just jump up and beat buddy ass, like, you know what I'm saying, or beat a motherfucker ass just cause he said some wild shit. Now I'm gonna correct that shit. I'm gonna check that nigga like straight up. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just wild to feel like motherfuckers feel like that's bro, like motherfuckers feel like that's the end all be all. And then on top of that, niggas ain't even really fighting. They scared to fight these days. Niggas is shooting. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really got to be tactful. Not even because of motherfucker, like, not because you scared of no shit like that, but because, like, niggas, like, Niggas trying to survive. Niggas trying to procreate. Niggas is trying to leave legacies. Motherfuckers is trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, accomplish shit, achieve shit that they always wanted in life. You feel me? And you just can't go out over no shit like that. I mean, you can't even go out over no shit like that. Like I said, man, self preservation is something that is. I feel like it's something that's like we're beginning to lack self preservation, or like a want for self preservation. Like, cause niggas do anything about anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, men and women out here doing anything about anything, man. Like, not even in the sense of doing it for your significant other, but just going about it the wrong way for themselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned earlier, protecting yourself as well. Motherfuckers is getting in relationships, or you finding out niggas is cheated, or they shorty cheated or some shit like that. And like they killing motherfuckers behind that shit, killing themselves behind that shit, like killing the kids behind that shit. Like, every day I feel like the need for external gratification causes us to get further and further away from the idea of self-preservation. And that's a very important thing to have. You're not going to survive without that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so the next point I want to get into is more so along the lines of, you know, do we operate out of fear of our significant others? You know what I'm saying? Like, does the way that you respond to situations, is that a direct reflection of like how you feel like your partner would want you to handle that shit? You know what I'm saying? Because like maybe you not a fighter. Like maybe you not a fighter. You ain't never been in an altercation a day in your life. Never had to fight a motherfucker. But if you with somebody that feel like when somebody say something crazy to them, that you better step on their ass, like, is you gonna step on their ass, or is you gonna like handle that shit the way you would normally handle it? Because like this is a real thing. Like, people feel like you can't protect them the way that they want you to protect them, or the way they want to be protected, or if you don't do things to make them, if you don't do the things they want you to do and making them feel safe, when you make in an attempt to make them feel safe or secure, or, you know, not just in a physical aspect, but emotionally, mentally, you know what I'm saying, as well, financially. You know what I'm saying? It's like you never did that shit. You get what I'm saying? So like, if you was in this situation, if you was in this situation, like, is you really gonna step on a nigga for saying some wild ass shit to your girl when that's not how you would normally handle that shit? Just because you know she expect her nigga to step on motherfuckers if they get out of line with her for anything, for any reason. Like, I feel like, and I know women do the same thing. Like, I know women that get out of line to over shit like that when it's not even necessary. I've dated a woman that get out of line for no reason, and I gotta be like, yo, like, it's not even that serious. Like, it's nothing. Like, damn, bro, like, you did all of that for what? Like, it's unattractive to me for a person to be that way. It's also not being genuine to yourself. Like, if you only operating out of the fear, or if you only operating in that manner because that's how your partner has communicated that they want shit to be handled, or because you know that they're that type of person, you're not being genuine to yourself. You're not being who you are. You're not being, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to handle shit and handle it in a way that's where you ain't gotta wonder if, like, if a motherfucker gonna see you as less than because you didn't do a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know like a lot of dudes do shit, and it's like myself included. A lot of dudes would do shit because they know they woman like a certain thing. You know what I'm saying? And they want to be that image in her eyes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's also detrimental to your character. Like, you feel me? Like, I mean, like, it's also not a good look for you. Like, you not protecting who you are. You're not protecting yourself by doing that. You feel me? Like women, like, do y'all look at y'all niggas as less than if he don't wild out like that for y'all? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, had that been a real situation, or it was a real situation, but had that been a situation that you were involved in, and instead of putting his hands on Buddy, like, he just, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'd appreciate it if you didn't, say nothing else about my wife. As a matter of fact, apologize for that. You know what I'm saying? Like XYZ. Like, would you still feel like your man protected you, or would he had to have gotten up and put his hands on the old boy for you to feel like he protected you? Because some women will say, like, I've seen women say, "Damn it, I should have took a screenshot of that shit." But I seen one shorty on Facebook say, like, if her nigga didn't get up and put his hands on a nigga for saying some shit about her like that, she would have broke up with him. The relationship would have been over right then and there. But, like, for what reason? For what reason? Now, like, if he didn't say anything at all, like, and he just let that shit slide and never said nothing, like, never addressed it, never said nothing, the old boy did nothing, I could kind of understand why you would feel like that. But at the same time, like, if he would have went up and handled it, like, or if he would have addressed that shit with bruh, like, yo, not even on some she got whatever condition type shit, just to be like, hey, bro, I ain't appreciate that shit. Like, don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't let that shit happen again. Like, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like he protected you. I still feel like he defended you. I still feel like, you know what I'm saying, that was a more, how my boy say that shit, that was a more gangster way of handling that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like you got a motherfucking knock a nigga shit around just because he say some shit that's disrespectful to you or your people. I mean, like, in all honesty, people gonna say shit about you that's disrespectful all the time. You're not gonna be able to touch every person that say some shit to you that's disrespectful, or say some shit about you that's disrespectful, or, whatever the case may be. Like, let's just keep that shit a band. You're not gonna touch everybody that's gonna say some disrespectful shit to you or your people. You just not gonna be able to, for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Every situation can't be handled like that. Sometimes it's not even the fact that you can't get to the person, it's just the situation around it, or the environment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna be able to do that shit. So I feel like there are a lot of people who would, I don't want to say it like that. I think because of the type of climate that we're in right now, like, socially, this is based off everybody having the same relationship goals, or, like, seeing the type of relationships that people admire, and the type of women that niggas is going for now, and the type of niggas that women are going for now, or the type of men that women are going for now. I feel like most dudes would get brolic, or most dudes would respond that way, because if they don't, they already fighting so much other shit. Like, you already got to be financially well off, not even stable, but, like, you already got to have bread. Like, you already got to have money. And I'm not speaking for every woman, but I'm just generalizing the shit that we see on social media. So, You already gotta have a lot of money. You already gotta have like the nice whip, the dope crib. You already gotta, you know what I'm saying, be able to fund her and whatever her habits is, you know what I'm saying, whether it be like her hair and nails, shopping, shit, whatever it is that she into, you gotta be able to fund that shit. You feel me? And I feel like that shit just creates the creates a space where this type of shit is now the norm. Like, if you don't step behind me like this, you not a man. You not a man. You can't. There's no way you not the type of man that my father was. You're not the type of man that my granddad was. And when in actuality, like, yo, I'm gonna be 100% real with you. Like, my 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 grandfather was packed up over some shit like that. You feel me? Like, so it's like I don't I don't I don't get how you could really feel passionately about somebody and allow them to behave in a way that could carry negative consequences for them. You know what I'm saying? Granted, you can't stop everybody from doing everything. You can't stop somebody from doing something that they really got their mindset on either. But you get what I'm saying? You at least gotta, hey, look, I don't really think you should. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as he correct that shit and don't let it go unchecked, like, understand it. That's that nigga defending your pride, and that's that nigga defending your honor. That's that nigga defending you as his woman. Like, you feel me? Like, that don't make him less of a man because he chose not to punch this nigga in the face, or you know what I'm saying, or he chose not to shoot at this nigga, or he chose, you know what I'm saying, not to put his hands on that man. Because like I said, like, that's all shit. If it's not warranted, that's all shit that's gonna immediately stop him from being able to protect you down the line and being able to be the same type of provider that he was, or you know what I'm saying, or that he is. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's definitely a lot of fear out here, especially for men, to respond to situations in a manner that they woman would justify, or see, you know what I'm saying, like, or respond to situations in a manner that they woman would dictate or dictates, because it's already a lot of pressure on us just to be men, like, you know what I'm saying, to be real men. And not only do you got that I'm a real, most men already got that I'm a real nigga type of ego about themselves, but they ain't trying to go out looking like no punk or no pussy in front of their girl either. So like, on top of all that, you know what I'm saying, they feel like they gotta do that shit to show that they a real man, to show that they a real nigga, especially in front of their shorty. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of niggas really operate out of fear of that. Not necessarily fear of they partner or they woman or no shit like that. But just operating out of the fear of a motherfucker not respecting them because they didn't handle it a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? Or they didn't handle it the way she wanted them to handle it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I really don't want to do that shit, but I know shorty gonna, like, you know what I'm saying? And there's women out here like that. Like, if you don't do this shit behind me, I can't fuck with you. It's a lot of women out here like that, bro. Like, it's a lot of men out here too. And that's why these women crash out over their niggas. Go to jail behind their niggas. Go to jail for their niggas. Take charges, shit like that. Like, it's a lot of shit that they are doing out of, like, think you protecting them, and you really not. You not. They doing that shit out of fear of, I want to be a ride or die. Like, I want him to see me as a ride or die. Like, you doing that shit out of the fear of this nigga not seeing you as worthy or valuable, or, you know what I'm saying, being woman enough if you don't do this for him. You know what I'm saying? And that shit made people do a lot of crazy shit. Like, it really do. That, like, the fear of how your partner perceive you, or the thought of how your partner perceives you, is heavy for a lot of people, man. And it's crazy. that people would respond that way or act. Well, it's not no more. It's not crazy. I'm not gonna say that because I understand it. I get why people respond like that. Like I said, like I've been in some situations myself where I responded that was in a way that was unnatural to me, just because I felt like I gotta do it like this. You know what I'm saying? That also goes into some other things too. I'm not gonna talk about it this week, but I'll get around to it. But just, you know what I'm saying, doing things that people don't, doing things because you feel like that person's perception of you is going to change, or they're not going to value you or respect you if you don't handle it in a fashion that, you know what I'm saying, they deem acceptable for the situation. And the last point that I kind of want to discuss is, you know, just regular cause and effect, man. Actions, reactions. Like you do shit, there's consequences behind that shit. Like a lot of people saying that Chris was fucked up for saying what he said, and it was wrong for him to say it. Motherfuckers saying Will Smith was wrong for putting his hands on him. Some motherfuckers saying that he was right for putting his hands on him. You know, motherfuckers are saying that, you know, Chris Rock a comedian, like expect to get picked on. I mean, I'm not gonna say, like I said earlier, whether I believe or I think either one of them is wrong or right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just it doesn't really make a difference what was right and what was wrong. Like to me, the point is, you said something, somebody took it as disrespect, and they reacted in a way that they deemed necessary, or that they saw fit. And I know it's a lot of people saying that, you know, well, Will was laughing and Jada looked at him and then he got up and he okay, whatever. I mean, it's whatever. Whether that's outside of all of that, as your own person, you have to decide whether or not that's the move you want to make. You feel me? So, and I'm only talking about this to make the point, to put context around what I'm saying here. So you have to, you as a person, regardless of how your partner feel about the shit, you got to make the best decision for yourself as well. You know what I'm saying? In the moment when you trying to defend somebody, you also still have to make the best decision for yourself. You feel me? And I was talking to my homeboys, and I was like, bro, if he felt like that's the decision, that's the action that he had to take, then he felt like that's the action that he had to take. Like whether you agree with it or not, you can't, whether you agree with it or not, you can't say, you know what I'm saying, you can't say that he shouldn't have felt like that was an appropriate response. You get what I'm saying? Like, I understand the whole he a comedian, he tell joke shit, but at the end of the day, like, you got to be responsible for what you say. You got to understand that there's consequences and reactions for anything that you say and do. You know what I'm saying? So like, how accountable are we supposed to be for what we say and do, for the things that we get out here in the world and say and do? Like, I think a lot of people have a problem with being accountable for that type of shit. Like, in general, you know what I'm saying? Not just about this particular situation. Like I said, I don't really want to talk about the situation unless it's in context to like what I'm trying to say, or the point that I'm trying to make. But in general, like a lot of people do shit, say shit, and they have a very, very hard time being accountable for what the fuck they say and do. And it's the same in relationships, man. It's the same in, like, whether it's a friendship, a relationship with a significant other, family, whatever. Like, people will say and do shit to you and then act like that's not what the fuck they meant, or you know what I'm saying, like, or act like that wasn't, like there's no ramifications for them doing or saying what the fuck they said or did, or because of who they are to you, they should be able to say that shit to you. You feel me? Like, I know one time I was talking to my folk about my divorce, and like my mom was like, she was just like, I felt like, what did she say? She said, I felt like, she said, I felt like you should have called me to check on me to see how I was handling it, which is weird because I'm the one going through the divorce. Like, why would I call you to check on you to see how you're handling my divorce? You get what I'm saying? It's like, and then when I tell her, like, yo, that's kind of selfish of you. Like, it's wild that you would feel like that. It's just like, well, I'm your mother. You should check on me during those. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like they don't, like, you can't even get out your own way to see that the type that, or to hear the type of shit that you're saying to people, and then backtrack on it, or then feel like, oh well, it's your fault that I feel like this. Like, people do that shit all the time. They don't want to take accountability for the type of shit that they saying and doing, or you know what I'm saying, and then they expect you to just be okay with that shit, bro. Like, nah, how accountable are we really supposed to be? Like, if you gonna say some shit, even if you fucked up about it, or if you gonna say some shit, do some shit, stand on that shit. And like, just in context to that situation, like, to me it was dope that bro was like, you know what, I keep her name out my mouth. Cause I mean, like, in all honesty, he probably really didn't even mean shit, but I don't want to speculate. So, like, he understood the gravity of the situation. You know what I'm saying? In all honesty, I really feel like he understood the gravity of the situation. He might have been confused as fuck, but I think he understood, like, oh, well, like, oh, damn, this is a real issue. So, I mean, he did what he should have did, and he handled that shit like a fucking man. Like I said, he could have retaliated and did some shit that was like, that would have made people see him in a different light, or see him in a different way as well. Would have fucked, like, some shit that would have fucked up his career, or, you know what I'm saying, just his character, his image. But he handled that shit well. People don't want to be accountable for the shit they say and do. And then they look at you like you crazy when you hold them accountable for the shit that they say and do. Like, I mean, like, and that's something that's, accountability is very important in relationships, regardless of what type of relationship it is. It's very important. Like, if you can't be real about the shit that you're saying and doing, and if you can't take responsibility for that shit, it's gonna hurt you, and it's gonna hurt your partner as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I've been on both ends of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been on both ends of that. I've done some shit to people that at the time I was not ready to take accountability for, and I wasn't gonna take accountability for. And I've had people do things to do or say things to me that probably to this day they still, I can't recall that they've ever taken accountability for that shit, or, you know what I'm saying, issued an apology or anything. But, like, the crazy part and the hardest part about like this life shit is, like, having to be okay with shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, having to keep that shit pushing. You know what I'm saying? And learn how to deal with the fact that you probably not gonna get that from these people. They probably never gonna be accountable for the shit that they did or said to you. And just having to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people don't even see why they should be held accountable or why they should have to recognize that they did some shit to you that kind of fucked you up or kind of fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, like for like these, it's always a reaction for your actions, man. Like you can't get out here and say and do. You can't get out here and just behave however kind of way you want. You can. You absolutely can. I'm 100% in support of the fact that you can get out here and do whatever it is that you want to do and behave however you want to behave. As long as you understand that there are going to be consequences for that shit, whatever it may be. And whatever those consequences are, you got to roll with them shits. I talk a lot of shit. I really do. And I know if somebody got an issue with something that I say to them, whether I'm joking with them or not, or whether I meant for it to come off a certain way or not, it's gonna go one or two ways. Like it's gonna be diplomatic or it's gonna be physical. And I'm gonna have to deal with whichever option they choose. You know what I'm saying? If they want to talk that shit out and just try to get an understanding, cool, so be it. We can do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm old enough and I'm grown enough to do that. But at the same time, if they run up on me and they just like, yo, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't feeling none of that shit you was saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me get my ones. Hey, bro, that's what it is. Personally, depending on the situation and the context around it, I might get them motherfuckers they want. Unless it's just like some petty bullshit, and then they really gonna have to force my hand for me to do that shit. But you know, that's not really here or there. But I mean, that's just what it is. Like I gotta be responsible for that shit. I said it. Like it's not like I mean I could say sorry, I could apologize for it, but really, like the way I'm at now, it's like I'm not apologizing for some shit that I don't really feel like I shouldn't have to apologize for. You know? Like I hate saying I'm sorry. And I hate having to say that I apologize for some shit when I really don't feel like I should have to apologize. You feel me? Like I hate it. I hate that feeling, bro. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna. I said this shit in my first episode. I'm not gonna do that shit. I'm not. If I don't feel like I have to, if I don't feel like the situation warrants it, I'm not doing it. So I mean, you're gonna have to do whatever you feel like you got to do about that shit at that point. You know what I'm saying? But I really feel like people have gotten to a point where they can say and do shit, and they feel like there shouldn't be consequences, or because of their occupation, or because of what they do for a living, or you know what I'm saying, they should be able to say whatever the fuck they want to say and do whatever the fuck they want to do, and nobody should be able to check them on that shit. And that's not the way the world works, man. It's just not how shit works. Like motherfuckers is somebody gonna get your ass over the shit that you saying and doing. Somebody gonna come check your ass, bro. Like, I mean, that's just what it is. Eventually, I'm not saying every time, but eventually, like, there's consequences for shit out here. You just can't do whatever the fuck you want to say and do. And I feel like this whole, like, once again, I feel like social media has made people very complacent with talking all the shit they want to talk, because a motherfucker is halfway around the country or halfway around the world. And they can't get to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like that shit has made people comfortable with talking the shit that they talk. And then they say this shit when they get in people's face, or they say the same type of shit when they get in people's face, do the same type of shit when they in people's face. And all of a sudden, it's an issue when somebody press your ass about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a... And it's not really like... It's just too sensitive. Like, motherfuckers is too sensitive on both ends. On both ends, like y'all feel safe Like y'all motherfuckers feel safe, and it's not safe out here. Like it's really not, bro. Niggas is getting they taking niggas out of here every fucking day, bro. Niggas is getting packed the fuck up every day. You know what I'm saying? Behind nothing. Behind nothing. And y'all feel like it's safe for y'all to say whatever y'all want to say to motherfuckers, like ain't no ramifications for that shit. Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright. But you know, that's really like that's really all I see people talking about. Is he shouldn't have said that shit. And he should have did this. And he shouldn't have walked up on that stage. And I mean, like, bro, like, all bullshit aside, this is just an altercation between two men. This is what the fuck happens between men. You feel me? When I say men, I'm speaking like mankind. You feel me? So like this is humans. You feel me? This is what the fuck happens. You say some shit, you do some shit, somebody feels violated by that shit, they gon' respond. There ain't no way you can stop that shit, man. It's nothing that you can do. You feel me? Like, not saying it would have been the only way he could have stopped that shit. That's how I look at it. That's how I see it. Not saying it would have been the only way. Like, you can't dictate how nobody gonna respond to the way you say some shit or the way you do some shit or what you said or what you did to them or somebody around them. You know what I'm saying? If they don't take light to that shit, they gonna press your ass. They can press your ass, and a lot of these motherfuckers will press your ass, and you just gotta deal with it, whatever the fuck come with it. You feel me? Whether it be a verbal altercation, physical altercation, whatever the case may be, you gotta handle that shit. Like, it's just wild to me that we in a place, like we in a space and a time, like where motherfuckers feel like it's their God-given right to say some shit or to act a certain way, say a certain thing, and then feel like they should be untouchable. And a lot of shit, and I'm not even gonna get into this shit, but a lot of that I really feel like comes from a lot of these movements that's going on too. And I'm not even finna get into all of that shit. All the, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these movements that's been going on like the past couple years and shit like that, and a lot of these motherfucking a lot of the responses to these movements, and then having the way we got access to everything, like, you know what I'm saying, and being able to speak our mind over the internet is definitely grooming people to feel like they can speak their mind without consequences in real life. And those two things is not the same thing, you know. But that's really all I wanted to touch bases on, for real, for real. Like, I ain't got too much else to say. I really don't have nothing to say about the situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? I done chopped it up with my homies about my personal opinion. Honestly, I feel the same way as I just explained to y'all. Like, I ain't looking at who right, who wrong, who shouldn't have said what, who shouldn't have put their hands on who. Like, I can understand why Chris said what he said. I'm not gonna say whether he was right or wrong for saying it, but I understand why he said what he said. You know, like, and this shit was funny. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit was funny to me. Took me out of here. Took me the fuck out of here. But I can also understand why Will did what he did. You know what I'm saying? I can understand him putting his hands on that motherfucker. Like I said, I'm not gonna say whether I feel like he was right or wrong, but I can understand it. You know? So, I mean, that's how I feel about that shit. Other than that, man, I appreciate y'all for fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for running with your boy. R.A.N Perspective, Episode 3. Willpower. We'll fuck with y'all later.